topic of national interest gets our attention, and we will begin by bringing you up to date with news-related headlines during the week. We are going to be starting with President Bola Tinubu, who on Friday asked electricity generation companies to grant the federal government more time to do verification and validation of numbers on long-standing liabilities the power market says it is owed. He also gave anticipatory approval for a 4 trillion naira bond program to plug the sector's liquidity hole. Also, Professor Nentawe Yuwada has emerged as the new national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress. The motion for examination was moved by the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum and governor of Imo State, Opozodima, and supported by the Speaker of House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, following the zoning of the national chairman to the North Central. Also, the Senate on Wednesday adjourned plenary proceedings till September 23, 2025, to proceed on its annual recess. Announcing the decision, Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the move was in line with chamber reciprocity, as members of the House of Representatives had also proceeded on break in accordance with the legislative calendar. Now to stories that get our attention today. Some retired police officers on Monday staged a protest at the entrance gate of the National Assembly in Abuja. The protesters demanded the removal for the Contributory pension scheme. The demonstrators, comprising elderly ex-police personnel, held placards and chanted solidarity songs as they stood in the rain, insisting that the wealth and dignity had been neglected for too long. Also, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos ordered the Inspector General of Police and Lagos State Commissioner of Police to pay 10 million naira in damages to some NSAS protesters for violation of their fundamental rights. These and many more get our attention today. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to today's episode of Firecrackers. My name is Iriba Salako. I have with me here in the studio Emmanuel Ifole, Executive Director, Elixir Trust Foundation. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, all right. We also have joining us virtually, that's DSP Iligaso Aliu, retired, who is a pensioner who also took part in the protests that took place all over, well, not all over Nigeria, but in some parts of Nigeria on Monday. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, all right. So before we jump right onto the topic, let us first of all go on this break. And that is the Police Contributory Pension Scheme, a threat to police morale and national security. And when we come back, we will begin discussions in details. Just stay with us. So I'll be back. If you're just joining us, this is Firecrackers, and we're just about to get started. So I'm going to be starting with my guest here in the studio. What are your thoughts about the protest that took place on Monday, most especially in Abuja? Because in Lagos here, the protest did not really hold. We had police officers going around to ensure that there was peace and quiet. But overall, what are your thoughts about the protest?
Protest for citizens in Nigeria is actually a crime. That is the reality in Nigeria. Even though we have Section 39 that talks about freedom of expression, we talk about Section 40 that talks about freedom of association and assembly. But unfortunately, the Constitution now is like, it's thrown somewhere by the judiciary and law enforcement officers. So it has become a crime where you see courts and the police even going to courts to get court orders to prohibit or ban protest. Meanwhile, based on rights by state of nature, human beings have rights, but they actually come together and give their right to somebody to lead. And then outside having the executive, you also give your right to some persons who make laws for you. But in the situation where the person in the executive is not working for you, the legislature is not making the right laws that serves you, and then the judiciary that normally is supposed to be the last hope of the common man, gradually is becoming the lost hope of the common man, then the citizens still reserve the right, and the only right you have is freedom of expression, coming out to protest. And it was an eye-opener for, let me say not for us, but directly for police officers that are still serving. If your senior colleagues that are retired are coming out to say we are not being taken care of, it should also be an eye-opener to you that you also find yourself, certainly at some point in time, the same way. And the same way they try to prevent citizens from protesting. They also try to also prevent their own senior colleagues, retired colleagues, from coming out to protest. It's actually a sad reality in Nigeria that having served your country for a period of 35 years, you are now looking for coming back to beg the same country you have served for a number of years to come and give you back what is due to you. That is how sad it was. And I'm hoping that the president, as well as those are the federal, because police is also a state, it's a federal agency. They also look into it and then see how at least monitor money is being given to them, see how these allocations can be improved and what is due to them can actually be given to them. Because it's sad, you cannot work for a country and then there's nothing to show for it.
Definitely, definitely. So now let us go to Yasu Ali, the retired DSP. How was your experience when you were protesting on Monday? What were the things you faced during the protest?
Thank you very much. During the protest, we went to see the IG. As was blocked by our men. We were there waiting to see IG until 5:30 before IG have sent for us that we should come and see him so that we have a dialogue with him. And actually, we went to the hall. We tell him all our grievances. The IG insists that we should remain in contributing pension scheme. We told him that we need total exit complete from contributing pension scheme because the system is sending us to our early grave. We told him that as we are talking with him, many of our retirees are dying daily and daily. I even told him that as we are here before him, the number which was supposed to even come to Abuja could have been more than this. But because of the level of poverty that we find ourselves, make us to come in few numbers. But he promised to take our grievances before head of state and commander-in-chief. We are waiting to hear from him. So that is all about. Then the two were at National Assembly gate protesting before a representative from Senate House Committee on Pension came and addressed us that day. His Excellency Honorable Member Husseini Mohammed Jallo, he came and addressed us that all our grievances this time around, by the grace of God, is going to solve. That they have already amended the Constitution, the act that took us to contributing pension scheme. They are going to amend it to remove us and to constitute act that will establish police pension board for us. I give kudos to him. Though the 9th Assembly, they have started like this, but to my greatest surprise, we were rendered hopeless by 9th Assembly. But we do hope this 10th Assembly, they will do the new spool. And we have never finished the protest yet until when the bill is sent by Mr. President before the protest now will put to rest. We only give them chance because they asked us to go and remain for 2 weeks before coming to see them to hear the feedback. So as I'm telling you, I have started organizing my people because this 2-month break that they are going, supposed to be notified to us when we are in his office, but they didn't. So you should expect us at any time again. We will soon come back to our normal protest, peaceful protest in Abuja.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. And sincerely, we all Nigerians are hoping that these issues will be resolved as soon as possible. But do you mind walking us through some of the issues with these contributory pension schemes and why you retirees are asking for exit from the scheme? What are your own personal experiences
Thank,
with it?
thank you very much. Before we join Nigerian police, we have taken an oath of allegiance to serve this country diligently. The federal government did not even tell us that during our retirement, they will push us to a company named PENCOM, Contributing Pension Scheme. We wake up one day, whether you like it or not, you are being sent to that PENCOM. Our first retirees that retire on this system, they didn't tell us that this is the consequences they are facing until when our turn reached. I, in particular, as you see me, I am a deputy superintendent of police. I retired 1st January 2019. I spent 7 months without gratuity and monthly pension. So I wake up one day, I received a text message that I should come to PENCOM office and sign my consent form. When I get there, somebody came with form. He said, "Where is Elias Aliu?" I say, "Here am I." He give me form. I go through the form. I saw 2,100,000. I said, "This for what?" He said, it is your gratuity." I shout, "Gratuity for complete 35 years?" He said, "This is the message he asked to come and deliver to me." And before I leave Nasarawa, because I live in Nasarawa, I have to borrow transport money to Abuja. Before I stay for that 7 months, I owe people credit much. I could have rejected signing that form. He said my monthly pension will be 35,000 naira. I was having 8 children. I think over it, I have to sign. When I collected that money, I pay all the debt. The money remained only 800 naira, 800,000 in my hand. I started building my house when I'm in service. I did not complete it. And even as I'm talking to you now, it was my brother who helped me and give me a certain rooms in his apartment while I'm managing with my children. My children can no longer go to school again. The few ones that graduated, no job. And this thing I am telling you, it is the same sickness that the whole retirees in Nigeria under PENCOM are suffering. As I'm telling you, just yesterday, one of my colleagues from Adamawa, I have a phone call. The man, he have run to madness because he do carry his PENCOM papers. He will come to the main road and be shouting that he will go to PENCOM office. He will go to PENCOM office. From Adamawa, okay, that man now have confirmed death. Yesterday, they called me that that man have died. Many died. Why? Why is it so? Is that how federal government supposed to treat us after serving 35 years? And they forgot that many of our retirees, we are specialized in many things. We have done bomb disposal unit in our set. We can manufacture bomb, but because we are know about the citizen, we have been crying. We have been crying. If you are a policeman now, if you happen to go and look for rent, they will first of all ask you, "Are you a policeman?" You say yes. They will say, "No, no, 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 no. If you pay once, you cannot be able to renew after your money have lapsed." People are laughing at us. You don't have value in your community. Nobody even regard you. This prostration lead our people to die. I am telling you, you cannot be able to eat 2 times square meal. You find it difficult to eat 1 square meal. If you see our retirees, you see them tattered. They lean as if HIV is in their body. What is because of condition? People that we serve. This legislature, if you go to National Assembly today, you will see once the senator will be having police officers, 5, 6. Go to National House of Reps. You see the same thing. All these big men, the chiefs, governors, but all our cry, no one is ready to help us. No one. Is it because we are law-abiding citizens? We have trained how to handle rifle. We are very confident to handle rifle. Despite the fact we retired, but we are not tired. Some of us are still gallant. But I, as a leader, we used to beg our members, but the thing has already pushed us to the wall. We have prostrated now. That is the reason why we come out massively to tell Nigeria, to tell the whole world that enough is enough. They are talking of insecurity, insecurity. We are just watching. We are just watching. But Nigeria, I have won. Nigeria, enough is enough. If they didn't do the needful, that look at, imagine this kind of thing. Like me, as I'm talking to you, I am having 6 billion naira in my retirement saving account, RSA. But I have no asset to remove cover. How can I live in such of life? Is it because when after I die, and somebody from Adamawa, the same Adamawa I'm talking to you, one of our retirees died. Do you know how much they give his family? They give him 300,000 out of the millions naira that he have in his saving account. What type of thing is this? We have been crying. We have been crying. No one is listening to us. They are doing this because we don't have somebody that will speak out. Nobody will come to our aid. And you can go to Meduguri, ask federal government, they value Boko Haram more than we policemen. Because if you go to Meduguri, they have they replace them. They came, they dropped their arms, some of them, they repair them. After doing that, they budgeted millions of naira for Boko Haram. Then we that serve Nigeria diligently with our strength, then federal government decided to neglect us. What is all this? And which signal are they sending to our people that they are in service? Which signal? Anybody that is in service now, the Nigeria now, what they are going to experience now is extortion. Because then they said they will have to look for means to get money at all costs. So that at the end of their service, they will not come and experience what we are experiencing now. In fact, as I said,
that night assembly reality that we are experiencing right now. But from your own point of view, if you would give the federal government advice, because like you said, the federal government have already promised that they are doing something. But there are some times that you have to be part of the people suffering to really know the type of solution that would benefit all, not just the temporary fix, and then later we'll still be running into the same problem. So with the current economic reality, with how expensive things are getting, what advice would you give the federal government at this time, especially when it comes to handling this issue of pension, the settlement and gratuity and all that? What method? Because since you all are asking for an out of the contributory pension scheme, so what would you recommend now?
Thank you. What I am recommending federal government to do for us, one, to exist completely from contributing pension scheme. Establish our police pension board. And again, federal government should start counting our monthly pension since the creation of PENCOM to date. because federal government are not giving us anything as far as monthly pension concerned. It is our gratuity, out of our gratuity, that federal government, that PENCOM are using it in pay us this our recharge card money that they are so called calling it monthly pension. Let us have our police pension board like how Army had it, Navy they have it, Air Force they have it, DSS have it, NIA they have it. Likewise, we police, we should have our police pension board, where if we have any crime, we'll go to our pension board and lend our complaint to them. Then the board now will take our matter before the federal government.
Thank you so much for that. But with the federal government's promises and all that, are you optimistic that this time around they will make a difference? Because, like you said, you experienced disappointment from the 9th Assembly. So for this 10th Assembly, how high is the expectation on them actually fixing this problem?
To me, this lawmaker, they have started driving us. Because when we get to National Assembly, that Senate Committee on Pension, he promised that we should come and see him in the next 2 weeks. To my greatest surprise, after I asked my people to disperse, when I reached Nasarawa, 2 days, I just heard over the radio that these people are going for a research. I now thinking, I said, oh, look at how these people have started again. And in that 2 months, in fact, before that 2 months, many of our retirees would die finish. They would die. So I think I have no any option that to start mobilizing my people again to go back to Abuja. As I'm talking to you, I've told the Inspector General of Police that if everybody will go to his respective state, I, Elias Aliu, I will not go. I will remain in Abuja. I will continue with the protest. And if the federal government didn't hear my protest, I will turn to a beggar in Abuja. I would disgrace federal government. And if the federal government fail to answer me, still I am very strength, gallant to go and write another employment elsewhere. But that one I will not make it known to Nigeria, because enough is enough, as I told you. Because they have pushed us to the
We'll definitely be
because
keeping up with you
if the lawmaker
reviews themselves in the future. But we sincerely hope that the federal government will attend to the needs of you people very soon. Thank you so much for joining us today on Firecrackers. We truly appreciate your presence.
God bless you.
Right, thank you so much. And that's Elias Aliu, a retired DSP. And also my guest here in the studio, if you would give an advice to the federal government when it comes to handling this issue of pension for retired police officers, what would you advise them to do that you feel like would really make a huge difference?
The retired DSP has already advised, which is something that if you look at the Police Act, it also speaks to the police being actually given their welfare to be at par with their colleagues in other parastatals, particularly in military, just like you noted. And it's something that should be paid attention to. Because for someone that is under the PENCOM, during your 35 years of work, I was privileged to have worked briefly with an insurance company some time ago. And what happens is the PFA, the pension fund administrators, actually are the ones that deduct this money from your salaries when you work. So it's contributory. They deduct a particular percentage, and the federal government brings a particular percentage at the end of the day. So this particular percentage being deducted is being invested with by the PFA during these 35 years. Just imagine that somebody is deducting your money and just investing with it without giving you anything till you retire. So for 35 years, somebody has invested with your money. And then at the end of the day, decide what to give you, and you still keep the remaining and still be giving you in piecemeal, like that till whenever. And it's not for life. That is what even many of them do not even know. It's not even for life. They give you for a calculated number of years that they expect you to live. That's another thing. Many people won't come out clearly to tell you.
So if you're a seller, you're on your own.
Yes, you're on your own actually. So, and don't forget that the strength gradually goes down. So maybe it will be there at the point where you may even need such help more. That is when it will cease. For them that have been into it for a long period of time, some of them will actually come out to even tell you clearly like that. So many of them, then I was working with an insurance company, so we're offering them annuity. So even if they give you the money and with the particular, after some time, the particular money finishes, because it's annuity, it will pay you till death. But if you die before the expected time, the remaining balance is given to your next of kin. But another thing again, that why they are working towards the federal government making laws or trying to adjust things or move them completely out of PENCOM, they should also pay attention that at least when it's 3-4 years before you leave, before your duration time of retiring, it's important that they actually talk with their PFEs and negotiate their lump sum. That is the new word they normally call their lump sum, which is the gratuity is talking about. So you can negotiate for 50%. So if you are to be given 6 million, if your total money is 6 million or 8 million or 10 million, you can negotiate for half. And then the remaining is calculated and they will pay you monthly. That is how it is. The military are not, they are not under the PENCOM, so their monies are not deducted. They are paid what is due to them. And when they retire, they still pay them pension. Why they deduct from the police, and when they retire, they still pay the military better than what they are paying those that monies were even deducted from the account. So it's actually a sad reality, and you heard what he said when they met the IG, that the IG said they should remain. So Nigeria as a country, and if you are talking about democracy, it should be government of the people, for the people, and by the people. If the police is saying we don't need this, then why should one person's decision, because him saying that is not speaking on behalf of the police, he's speaking because he's at the helm of affairs by virtue of being recognized by who is the president. So it may not even be competence, it may not even based on popularity or credibility, because if we want to even go by what is expected, we know that we should have a new IG now by this time. So, and unfortunately, when we find ourselves, or certain persons find themselves in office, they feel it's for life. That will never happen, you know. So he should also pay attention, knowing fully well that he will certainly join them soon.
So would you even advise that if the current police officers in office, if they know what's best for them, perhaps they should join the protest too?
You're looking at what is happening to the military when a lot of persons come out to complain. And then you'll be hearing mutiny and the rest. Means they are not supposed to talk while they are in office. And this is a sad reality for the country. When the country is failing and you are being used as tools to violate people that are speaking out, then how can you have a voice to speak for yourself? And people that should have been able to even speak for you, you have been used as a tool to violate them. People came out to protest against police brutality and all that. And then police was used to victimize. Some persons lost their lives. Now the same police are coming out to protest. And they need the same persons that they fought against to come back and protest on their behalf. So it's a time for reorientation, a time for retreat for all of us. For even law enforcement officers, there's a time. At the beginning, you were not a police officer. You were not given birth to as a police officer. You only wore the uniform after some time. And after some time, you will still leave that uniform and come back. So we should put hands together as citizens and fight for what is best for the country now. Because you will not remain there forever. Even as president, you will not remain there forever. So when people are crying, don't be thinking that, oh, as long as I'm living in big mansions and building mansions that I won't even need, then, and as long as I'm president and just doing oversight over everything, then everything is fine. The country is really suffering and people are really suffering. He already said that a lot of his colleagues are dying. Yes. And with each passing day, one person or thereabout will still die. That's the Nigerian situation. Coupled with the fact that a lot of them have also been displaced. There are a lot of officers, retired officers, that have been driven from their houses. There are a lot of officers that their wives, there was a particular situation even in Lagos here, where there were reports of the families of police that have lost their loved ones were being driven away from barracks and all that. They tried to quench down the story, so yeah, yes, but till now, there are a lot of families of police officers that have lost their life while in service, that the federal government is not taking care of them. And some of them, and even their children, lives all kind of life to be able to feed. But it's a sad thing for our country, because you should be rewarding service. If somebody has swelled and have taken oath to actually serve you for 35 years, put 35 years on top 25 years, automatically the person should be around 60 or thereabout. And that means that is his most productive years he has invested in working for the good of the country. At least it should be respected, protected. The Police Act, if you're looking at section 91 about to 94, talks about even having a special fund to even for the welfare of police that are working in good faith and all that. You rarely see them being rewarded. Even if you need to, there's need for millions and all that to give them, you rarely see it. If you are even looking at the police trust fund that civil society advocated for another alternative source of income, because you knew that the budgetary allocations given to them were not good enough. We even advocated for that, but how functional it is. So the appeal would be that the president should actually pay attention to the voice, what they are saying, because he made a comment there, a lot of persons may not pay attention to it. But these persons are good in handling guns. He made that statement. You know what that is? Particularly in a crisis situation we are facing all over the country. And if all these retired people that have competence in handling guns and making bombs decide also to join the moving train, then we'll be in a total blackout. And so outside that, moving out of the pension scheme is one. Ensuring that they are also being, their pension, even their take-home is upgraded. Ensuring that they are giving also medical facilities of police generally should be improved. And it should also be there to cater even for the needs of retired ones. It's very important. The Police Trust Fund was supposed to ensure training and retraining of police officers, refurbishment of police training institutes and barracks, and then also provide armory for them. So even their barracks, while they are even in service, there's need to also ensure that the funds are accrued, because the police trust fund, the monies are being gotten from is about 0.05% of the Nigerian budget is accrued to that particular account. About 0.00% of even private parastatals and all that, the monies are accrued from still we citizens to that particular account. And then we cannot allow such funds in billions. It's always accrued in billions. What is the oversight over these funds? How well are they being used to improve the welfare of the police? Because we need our lives to be protected. For any business, for any venture to succeed in the country, depends on the level of security that such a person is experiencing or benefiting from. So the government should actually pay very keen attention to this.
Well, Ilyas Ali, DSP, retired DSP, has already assured us that they are all law-abiding citizens. I guess we do not need to worry about any uprising of such nature.